live. We're doing 30 minutes of side split stretching starting right now. And I said 30 minutes because it's a muscle memory thing, but we're really probably going to run a little bit longer than that. Like 45 minutes is what you should expect. We do side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully a lot of consistency, a lot of fun, a lot of community makes it a lot easier to build your side splits. And we can do that together. Okay. I have another sip of my coffee. And I'm gonna wait for a couple people to come in because we just started the live. And then we'll get started. So if you're watching a recording of this afterwards, then I'm gonna tell you what we're doing. We do 3 warm-up exercises, very active, very movement-based. I don't expect you to be warmed up yet. You come in, you do the warm-up, we do it together, and then we go into 5 sets of stretches. The first stretch is a hamstring stretch, then it's a butterfly stretch, then it's a standing pancake. Finally, we get into a figure 4 stretch or a pigeon stretch for the outer hip, and then we do side splits. The side splits are a little bit different. We do 3 rounds of 30 seconds instead of just 1 round of 30 seconds for all the other stretches, and that's how we go. Cool? Together, if we go really fast with no talking, absolutely pure focus, it'll only take 20 minutes. But if we talk to people, if we answer questions, if we explain stuff as we go, it takes a little bit longer, 30, 40 minutes. Usually the live runs longer because there's Q&A at the end. Cool. All right. Let's see. People are starting to join in, and that's lovely. Jill, Comet Zer, welcome, welcome. Lexi, we are doing 30-something minutes of live side split stretching starting right now. So, Lulu, welcome back. And yeah, all right, people are here. So I guess time to put my coffee down and get to work. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get ready to do some stretching. We're going to get right into our warm-up right now. And we're going to start with our hip cars. Hip cars are all about moving your legs and your hips through their full range of motion using your own muscle power. So let's go ahead and talk about what those movements look like. We're going to start the high knee. We're going to open up that leg directly to the side. We're going to rotate that leg so that the ankle and the knee are as high as possible. Flex that hip muscle right here. Then we're going to bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstring, flex the glutes, really contract. Pull that knee up. Feel the stretch in the front of your hip flexor over here. Make sure this knee is behind the knee that is standing. And that is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 on the right side. Let's go. High knee, open. Ankle, down and back. 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 If you're just joining in for the first time, you have no idea what's going on. We are warming up for some side splits. Right now, this is basically just a lot of hip mobility, slowly moving a little bit better every couple seconds for the first couple of minutes. And you don't have to have any experience. You don't have to have any particular set of skills. We're going to warm up nice and slow, and I'm going to talk you through everything. Cool? All right. We're supposed to do 10 of these. And honestly, with the quick description, I have completely forgotten how many we've done. So let's just do one more, and we're going to move on to the other leg. Let's keep going. That's one side. Let's do the other side. High knee, open. Ankle, down and back. 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 I think that's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hip cars going forward, feeling good. Take a second to pause and let's continue. We are getting some confusing stuff over on YouTube, and that's okay. But I'm gonna check out the chat in TikTok real quick. Lulu says thank you. Oh, because I welcomed her in. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Let's go let's go hip cars in reverse. They look like this. We're gonna start with the leg back, hamstring flex, glutes flex, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor, bring this knee and the bent leg behind the knee and the standing leg. From here, we're gonna lift the leg directly to the side, like we're doing a really cool martial arts kicky pose. From here, I want you to focus on the knee and the ankle, keep it as high as possible, really contract the muscles in the hip. Rotate that leg so that the ankle is down, the knee is up, as wide open as you can, then bring that knee to the front. Cool? Let's go. I'm gonna be doing it facing you this time, so follow up. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. I think that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Stay strong. 10. Whew. Oh man. If I'm going a little bit fast at any point, feel free to take your time and go at your own pace. Because I'm gonna talk a lot. Like right now, this thing that I'm doing, you got plenty of time to catch up. All right. Let's keep going. Hip cars. Other leg. Last one. Boom. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. Ooh. Hip just made a whole bunch of noises. And on that second rep, not so much noises. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. Oh, okay. Shake out those legs. Shake out those hips. Do a little dance. Wiggle. I'm gonna come by, check the chat real quick, and we will continue. Side angle, knee up, left. Yes, yes. We are playing video games with our leg positions. These are cheat codes. And oh, we got people maybe coming in from New Zealand. Welcome, welcome. Bunny the Builder on YouTube says, "Wow, now I am aware of muscles I didn't know I had." That is lovely. I know you're saying it as kind of a joke and lighthearted, but in the greater scheme of things, now you know that they exist. Now maybe you know they need some love and some training, some care, and maybe you can give them the time that they need to be strong or to move well, right? The hip cards are all about getting a little bit stronger, moving a little bit better, getting better range of motion in your hip, and that's super important because it's essential for being able to do things like sitting down. You know, we call this the Asian squat, but it's super handy if you just want to play with your kids. Super handy if you want to pick up things from the floor. It's super handy if those muscles, those things that have to work together to make sure that you can actually get down to the ground work well, right? Because at the end of the day, being able to hang out on the floor makes life a lot easier, right? You're not reliant on having a chair. You're not reliant on having other things to rest on all the time. Okay, I'm gonna check out the TikTok chat real quick. Greenhousey says, "Sorry, I'm late." You are not late at all. Right. Claudia says, "I record. I need for help my hip. Is there a benefit from going fast to going slow?" Che, there is a benefit in going a little bit slower. It's going to be a lot more tiring because you're using relatively weak muscles to hold up really big chunks of leg, right? So like this one right here, it's some pretty small muscles. Maybe your oblique is helping you to keep your body upright, but in general, it's a tiny little bit of muscle in the hip area holding your whole entire leg up, right? These are called the hip abductors. ABDUCTORS if you were going to Google it. And when you go slow, it just forces them to work a lot harder. That means you'll be more tired, but you can have a couple of really good reps, right? As you get stronger, as you get better at the hip stuff, you'll be able to go a little bit slower. You'll be able to hold that end range of motion. You'll be able to keep the knee high when it's supposed to be high. be able to lift the knee and the ankle higher. But sometimes it's a trade-off between how many you can do versus how many really high quality ones you can do. I recommend you focus on really good quality because that will probably help you get stronger faster. But most people care about hitting the number and hitting the goal, having that checked off in their mind, and that makes them happy. So if that's you, if that's most people, then do that, and that's okay. Is it going to be faster and better? Not necessarily, but does it keep you more motivated so you can do more of them? Probably. And if that's what it takes to keep you motivated and keep going, then that's all I care about. Keep going. All right. I think I've answered most of the questions. So let's get back to warm-up exercise number 2, because I've been here for so long, maybe I'm already cold. All right, elephant walks. Let's get into it. We're getting to this sort of L shape, like so. You're going to feel a lot of pressure building in the hamstrings, maybe your low back. If you've been sitting in front of a computer all day, it's getting a little tight around here. You can bend a little bit more to help stretch out that back a little bit, but you can also really focus on keeping it nice and straight and flex those muscles in the back at the same time. Okay, you got options. What we are really focused on is the hamstring. So you got options with whatever the rest of your body is doing. All right, from here, I just want you to focus on bringing your belly button to the ground. Get lower. You can add some of these little mini pulses. You can slightly bend your knee if your knees are uncomfortable. Not like this, we're not squatting, right? But just a little tiny gentle bend. And you can do some light pulses. Feel that hamstring stretch get a little bit tighter, and that's good. This is part of our warm-up, so we're taking it nice and slow and gentle to start. After that, we're gonna bend one knee, straighten the other, but really lean into the bent leg. Keep on stretching out that hamstring, and bring that belly button down slowly, shifting from side to side. As long as you remember, the belly button has to come down, and you're shifting your weight, and your hamstrings are feeling it. We're good. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's no perfect pace. We're just making our way into better hamstring mobility. All right. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. And once you've done a couple of these, let's add in some thoracic rotation to get your upper body warmed up as well. Whew. Okay, thoracic rotation. Don't worry, we're still going to be doing the hamstring stuff. It's just going to add some bonus movement. From here, we're going to once again bend one knee, keep the other leg straight. In this case, my left knee is bent, my right leg is straight. I'm taking my left hand, so the opposite hand, pushing against my straightened leg, my right leg, rotating my chest to the right, taking my right arm, sticking it up behind me. Look at the hand, so your neck is also twisting a little bit. And once you're in this position, you twist it as much as you can. I want you to focus on those hamstrings one more time. Bring the belly button down. Feel that stretch in the hamstring, and then come back down. Whew. All right, let's do the same thing on the other side. Left leg is straight, right leg is bent, right hand grabs the left leg, twist, open up that chest. Left hand points into the sky, your eyes look at that hand, and then we want a little bit more hamstring stretch. Bring the belly button down to the ground. All right. If you did that right, you might suddenly just be sweating a whole ton more because now we're engaging the whole rest of the body in the warm-up. Cool. Let's keep doing that. Let's get 5 of these done. Wow, I have some like residual cold symptoms from like a week ago, and when I bend over and I fold forward, phlegm just comes out of nowhere and makes my voice sound all funny. So if you're hearing that, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Luckily, I can't get you sick over the internet. That would be wild. Okay, let's do a couple of these. Remember, we do want you to focus a little bit on your hamstring. The twisting, the rotation is all really good for your back, for your spine, especially on YouTube. My data entry person whose username I have now forgotten, but I remember the facts, the details. Okay, once you've done a couple of these, let's get ready to move on into warm-up exercise number 3. So we got some shoulders, some back, some arms from that. And now we're going to really focus on the side splitty legs stuff. The Cossack switch is the third and final warm-up exercise. We're going to do a lot of shifting from side to side, but we're going to take this nice and gentle to start. So I want you to open up your legs nice and wide. There's no exact spacing that you need, and I'll show you why. On one leg, I want you to lean forward, make your knees travel in the same direction as your toes are pointing, and get into this type of position where you're feeling this pressure in the front of the ankle, you're feeling the stretch in the Achilles tendon in the calves, and you are feeling a little bit of pressure in your hips. Try to keep your heel down. That might mean you have to come up a little bit straighter, and that's okay. But I want you to hang out here. In this position, doesn't have to be this position. You can have your knees point a little bit more forward. That's totally okay. A little bit more open, a little bit more open, almost directly out to the side. If you can handle it, then that works for me. On this side, while we hang out in this position, we're going to give it a couple of seconds to loosen up and just be a little bit more comfortable. On this side, I want you to focus on getting into a position where your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. This is called external rotation. The leg is rotating towards the outside of the body. It makes a little bit more sense if you're standing. External rotation, the leg is pointing outwards that way. But when you get into that sort of side splitty position, you just take that leg, and when you come down, your toes are pointing up, your heel is down, your knee is pointing up. Cool? That's why it's called external rotation. Now, once you are here, we have probably hung out on this leg for a little bit. So let's get our butts over to the other side and give some fair loving to the other hip. Go ahead, walk your hands, come on over, and get into that same position, mirrored on this side. Again, you're feeling the pressure in the front of your ankle. You're feeling that Achilles tendon stretch, the calf stretch. You're feeling a little bit of pressure at the hip. We're not doing anything crazy. We're not doing anything explosive. You're not moving. You're not jumping. You're not pulsing. You're just chilling for a little bit to help your body relax into this position, get a little bit comfortable, because this is the warm-up. All right, same thing. On this side, I want your heels down, toes up, knees up. I want you to get familiar with this position because we're going to use it for the side splits later, and it's super important to get into a comfortable side split. All right, we've hung out here for a little bit. I think not quite as long as the other side, so let's give it a couple more seconds. And what do we need to talk about? We got to talk about switching from side to side. If you put your hands down, this will make it a lot easier. The goal is to get your butt from side to side. If you put your hands down, that'll take a lot of weight off of your leg muscles and reduce the amount of balance that you need to figure out. So you can do that to keep it nice and easy. If you're feeling strong, you can stand up a little bit straighter. Not actually stand up, but flex those back muscles, get your chest upright, stick your hands in front of you, and go from side to side. If your knees are feeling a little bit of an ache, doing that low, you can stand up a little bit more, get into a half squat, come over to the other side, and then slowly sink into it. And you can also do a full squat and sink into it. As long as you're spending time getting in and out of this sunken in position, working on the stretch here, I don't really mind how you do it. Cool? All right. I think with that, let's do 5 to 10 rounds of going side to side. Cool? Whew. Here's first round. Second round. You can do these as slow and as fast as you want. The slower you go, the more control you need to have over your little muscles and each part of that movement. The faster you go, the more you can rely on sort of momentum to get you across. And do your best. I think this is number 4. Number 5. Number 6. 7. 8. 9. I'm really bad at counting doubles. I don't know how this is possible, but I'm pretty sure I've done 10. Okay, my hips are super tired. Let's finish up. Do your last one if you are not already done. And let's get ready to get into our stretches. You're gonna need a cushion for a hamstring stretch, something to protect your knee because we're gonna be on one knee doing the hamstring stretch like so. Go ahead, take something, go grab something. A dog bed is perfect. Your dog will give you lots of attention if you steal that too. So, all right. Bunny the Builder says, too late. My kids beat you to it. We all have colds. Yeah, it's that time of year. Sunset Bunny on YouTube says, okay. Let's see. Where is what is happening? Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. moving on. Okay. I think we are good. All right. I hope you have a cushion. I hope you have some tools. Let's get ready to do some hamstring stretches. Whew. Hamstring stretch. We're going to focus on keeping our hips and our chest pointed directly forward to start. And the reason why I bring this up is because we want to focus on just the hamstring stretch. If we start rotating and twisting, the stretch changes and it's not nearly as effective for the hamstring specifically because we're twisting and rotating. Cool? So from the side, I want you to imagine that there is a line running from your left hip to your right hip, and it should go right across your body. Not this, not like this. So when we do the actual hamstring stretch and we stick this leg directly in front of us, I want you to try your best to keep this hip tucked in so that the left hip and the right hip are really close to each other in this line. I hope that makes sense because we're going to get started. All right, fold forward. Focus on bringing your belly button to your thigh. As your hamstrings tighten up, I want you to take a nice big deep breath in and then a nice slow exhale and see if you can slowly push a little bit deeper into the stretch. Ready? Let's do that. In. Exhale, slow, push. Your hamstrings are going to tighten up way more. It's going to be super intense. And we're just trying to take this nice and slow and be gentle. Nothing explosive, just slowly dropping down. All right, let's do one more. In. Exhale. All right, once you're as low as you're going to get, you think, I want to try one more and see if you get a little bit deeper. Because a lot of the time, it's your emotional state, your mental state going, no, that's enough. I'm good. Usually, you can still eke out a little bit more the first time you have that thought. If you've had that thought like 4 times already, you're probably not going to get that much more out of the next breath. Once you're here, once you're in a pretty deep position, we're going to get right into our stretch. We're going to hold over 30 seconds. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down. You can add a little bit of a pulse if you want, but nothing explosive. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. Also, if you have achy knees, you can have a slight bend in that leg, and it will help relieve some of the pressure on the knee, but you can get most of the benefit of the hamstring stretch all the same. Okay. I completely lost my count. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay, come on up. Oh, man, that was intense. Okay, let's rotate, spin around, go do the other side. It should be that as soon as you get out of it, give your leg a couple of seconds, that intensity, that tension will just disappear. And you'll be like, oh, did I really just suffer on the floor for 30 seconds doing that stretch? Because I can barely remember it. And that is a really good sign. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I want the hips making that straight line. And one of the ways to test if it's a straight line is if, for example, what you can see, if you can see my left hand, then you know my left hip is further out than my right hip. If you can't see it, then it's possible that my left hip is really far back or my right hand is just covering my left hand. Cool? That makes sense? We want to square that up that way. All right, let's go. Stick that leg out in front, fold forward, and as the hamstring tightens up, remember to breathe. Inhale, slow exhale. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, slow exhale. Hamstrings really tighten up. Let's do our 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out on that stretch. Cushion, you don't need anymore. Give it a nice gentle toss, get rid of it, and we're gonna get right into stretch number 2, the standing pancake. Queen RR says, yes, I definitely need to do some stretches. I sit at a desk basically all day. Divine Waters of Truth says, great stretches. Thank you so much for your dedication. Thank you for being here often enough to know that I do this every single day to practice consistency, build a little bit of community, and hopefully that makes it a little bit more fun. Good vibes to keep you consistent, to keep me consistent, so we can all make a bunch of progress together. So thank you for being here. Okay, back to TikTok. Che says, doing great. Lovely. Amazing. Blandre, welcome back. Checking in. Caught you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're not like in Europe where it's 1 a.m. or something. But if you are, I appreciate you for coming in. All right. Let's keep going. It's time for the second stretch. It's called the butterfly, and it looks a little bit like this. We are pulling our feet together, and we're getting into this stretch. The goal is the groin area, and you might notice that the knees are really high off the ground. The goal is actually to bring the knees as low as possible to help open up that groin stretch. And it's a little bit of a difficult stretch to get into. If you're very flexible, you might not have any issues. But if you have tight hamstrings, your low back is struggling to stay straight, and you're rounding your back like this, trying to hold yourself into position, is very difficult to apply force into that hip, right? So my regulars will know this because I do this every day. Get your butt to a wall. When you have a wall to push into, it makes it much easier to keep your back straight, to push your legs into the ground, and as you can see, my knees are immediately, magically, so much closer to the ground because I don't have to focus on trying to keep like this, to keep myself in the seated position. All right, so hips, shoulder, head are resting against the wall. You pull the legs in. Now focus on using the outer thigh muscles, the glutes, to open up your legs, open up that groin, bring the knees down to the ground. Once you have those working, I need to take off the socks. The floor is too slippery with socks on. I can't stay in this position. Once you have the muscles working, pulling your knee into the ground, I want you to apply some pressure with your hands. You start feeling the back of your head and your shoulders pushing into the wall really hard as soon as you do this. And that is exactly what we want. Your wall is basically helping you push your legs into the ground, and it's like magic. Cool? All right, let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, relax. First, get rid of your hands so they're not applying pressure. Next, lift your knees just a little bit so that they get a little bit of movement, and then your hips will realize their muscles and they should start working again. So you should be able to start walking pretty soon after that. All right, I'm gonna put my socks back on because I want to be able to slide a little bit later in the next couple of stretches. And let's get ready for the standing pancake. The standing pancake is a variation of the pancake stretch. And the pancake stretch, if you don't know, looks a little bit like this. We're trying to bring our chest basically in between our legs, and it's a really hard stretch, and that kind of hurt. Oh, okay. Standing pancake. The way we do it is really good for beginners because when we get to this position, gravity is pulling our head, our chest, our whole upper body down into the ground, and it's helping us get into a deeper stretch so that we don't have to work as hard. And I know I just said I spent so much freaking time putting the socks on, but I think that particular sock is too slippery. The polyester socks are really slippery. The cotton socks are a little grippier, and I changed my socks so I never have the right consistency with the grippiness. So socks are back off. Okay, from here we're opening up our legs nice and wide, and we are folding forward at the hips. That's the basic position. All right, I'm going to do this sideways because I have a wall here to keep this foot from sliding out. So I can just focus on one foot and my grippiness on that foot. And once you are in this position, you'll start feeling the inner thighs. You'll start feeling maybe the hamstrings. What I want you to do is either of two or a combination of these. One, stick your arms out in front of you and feel how much tension is building up in your hips and how much you want to just drop down. That is a perfectly valid version of the standing pancake stretch. If you want, you can also grab your legs and pull your upper body down so that your head, your belly button, the most important part, is going in between your legs. Cool? All right. That's as much setup as I think you need. Let's do our 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. You can always put your hands on the ground if you're exhausted and you can't continue. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Come on down. Put your hands down. Come back into standing. And that should be really tiring. Your legs should be really tired. So take a nice little bit of a break. Wobble from side to side. Be a penguin if you need to. Just take a second. Enjoy that your body works and that suffering was worth it. And loosen up. Shake it out. Okay. Usually I go into a spiel about all the different muscles that we are using when we do that. But I think I'm going to skip it. Goddess V3 says, I have had a swollen ankle and haven't been able to stretch, but it's great to be back. Goddess, welcome back. Thank you for coming to hang out, even though you don't feel like you can do that much stretching. We do a lot of stuff that requires the ankle to be working pretty good, but the hamstring stretch should still be something you could do, and you don't have to do it quite the way that we usually do it with this kneeling leg if somehow that impacts your ankle, but you can still do the standing variation where you just kind of relax into this position. And what other stretches do we do that don't require ankle? I guess you could do half of a hip car, just one side. All right, I'm gonna scroll real quick, see if there's any more things in the chat to address. No. Somebody wrote, the butterfly has been my favorite stretch since elementary school. Lovely. Well, I hope maybe that version was a helpful variation that makes you feel like you're even more of a badass than you were before. You look like a guy that trains the Saitama, like Saitama. That's kind of funny. I hope I don't lose all my hair. Let's continue. We just did standing pancake. That is a third of our 5 stretches. The next one, the fourth one, is easy to remember. It's called the figure 4 stretch. And that's because our ankle is coming across our body, and the goal is to lift that ankle, bring the chest down, hug that leg essentially, and feel that stretch in the outer hip glute area. Looks a bit like this. There's 2 main ways to get into it. There's the pigeon, and there is the actual figure 4 stretch that looks more like this. I think we did pigeon yesterday, so I'll do figure 4 today. And if you are familiar with any of them and you want to just do the thing that you like, go ahead and do that. I'm going to explain the figure 4 real quick, and then we'll get right into it. Cool? All right. So the figure 4 stretch looks a little bit like this. We're taking that leg that we're wanting to stretch, crossing it over just below or above the knee, I guess, depending on what angle you're looking at this from. And we're reaching our hands through, pulling on that knee that is not getting stretched, and we're pulling it in. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. That's it. That's the figure 4 stretch. You have to work pretty hard to pull your leg in and feel that stretch, but I promise it's worth it. Let's go ahead and start 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Come on down. Switch over to the other side. Let's get into the figure 4 again. We just crossed the left leg over to the right. Now let's bring the right leg over to the left. And hands reach through. Pull the leg in towards your hip. Keep that steady pressure. Your head might be on the ground. You might feel like it's time to relax, but it's not time to relax. Keep pulling. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. If you're feeling a little pressure in your knee and it's a little bit uncomfortable, you can grab your leg directly and pull on the whole thing instead of just putting pressure on this ankle. And that should be very similar. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, we're done. Figure 4 is complete. Now I'm putting back my socks because I'm doing the side splits. All right. That was the 4th of our 5 stretches. We're about to go into 3 rounds of side split stretching. And we're going to do this a little bit differently from the rest of the stretches. We're going to take time to set it up. We're going to go into the position. We're going to hold for 30 seconds, and then we're going to end. We're going to shake. We're going to relax. We're going to try to loosen up all the muscles that got really tight while doing the side split. And then we're going to keep on doing some more. Cool? All right. I was really coming over because I needed a casual reason to check the chat and also to drape a sip of something. It looks like the last comment was Goddess's swollen ankle, so I think we are good to go and continue. All right, side splits. So the first thing is I want you to stay safe. I don't want you to get into a position where you're uncomfortable, where you're scared, where you're nervous, because that's going to cause all your muscles to tighten up, and that is no good if your goal is to get loose and flexible. So I recommend you get close to a wall. In this case, this wall behind me that we used for the butterfly stretch is perfect, except for the fact that there's a big old metal doorknob here that I slammed my shoulder into the other day. Avoid something like that, right? So big empty wall preferred. A bookcase would be fine. A door without a handle or, away from the handle is perfectly relevant and fine. But what we want to do is take one step in front of the wall. It's about 8 to 12 inches for most people. And we want to start from here. The reason for that, and I'm doing this in slippery socks, so maybe this will not look nearly as smooth as it usually does, But if you start falling backwards, oh no, I'm falling. Hopefully, did I just turn off the light? Oh, nope, okay. Well, I also have a light switch where my head goes, apparently. But if you fall backwards, hopefully your shoulder, your butt, your back will catch you, and you won't actually just go and fall on your butt. Cool? But if you do want to try and just collapse on your butt a couple of times, and you get used to that feeling and it doesn't hurt, then you won't be worried about falling at all to begin with. So, to each their own. Use the wall to help keep you safe. If you want to just bust your butt a couple of times to figure out how painful that could feel, that also works. Do what you got to do. All right, let's continue with the stretches. We're going to get into side splits, so we're going to start by opening up those legs as wide as they can go. I recommend, if you're new to this, definitely take your socks off. You want more friction rather than less friction, so it's easier to control. Once you're as low as you can go, there's pain, a little bit of discomfort in the hips. Fold forward, put your hands down like you're going to do a little bit of a push-up. This puts some of the weight into your hands, reduces the weight in your legs, and that gives you the opportunity to more easily rotate the legs. We talked about this in the Cossack switch part of the warm-up, but we are putting the heels down, the toes up, and pointing the knees up into the air, right? Toes up, knees up, heels down. And that shifts our leg bone a little bit so it doesn't smash into our thigh bone, our leg bone, so it doesn't smash into our hip bone. And that should give you a little bit more range of motion that you get deeper into your side split. From here, I want you to walk your hands back towards your hips. So you take that weight that you put away over there, put it right back into your legs, help you get into a deeper side split stretch. Once you're here, I want you to do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side and use that wiggle to break the friction holding your feet back from a deeper stretch. And once you are stuck, as stuck can be, and you're just going, Ken, shut up and start counting. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Help pull your legs back in. Kneel if you need to. I know we spent a bunch of time in that stretch, way longer than the actual 30 seconds where I was counting. So if you need to take a couple seconds, go ahead and take it. I'm crawling forward just to check the chat real quick. It looks mostly okay. There's something I need to scroll back for, but let's relax first. We want to shake out our legs. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. They have also been called noodle legs, and that is because we want them to flop. We want them to relax. The easiest way to prove to everybody that they're relaxed is if they can just flop around like a wet noodle. All right? If they were really tense, if your muscles are still flexing really hard, it would be like, oh, and you'd be a robot, right? All your joints would be like, we don't want that. We want loose and floppy. So kick, 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 shake, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. Once your legs are feeling loose and a little bit better, we're going to do a couple of joint checks to make sure all the little different pieces of your body that you put a lot of pressure into are working just fine. All right, let's do some hip circles to start. If that feels fine and good, do a couple of quick high knees. Don't have to do that many, just making sure the hips are feeling good. Next, we're going to pop into a mini squat. Doesn't have to go all the way down. We just want to make sure you can put weight into your knees, put some weight into your ankles, come up onto your toes to see if you can balance. Clearly, I can't balance. And once you've done that a little bit, everything feels good, everything feels right, then we are ready to continue. But before we continue, if you're having fun, if you're enjoying the stretches, if you're enjoying the good vibes, you're enjoying the community that we are hanging out on, then hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified, because we do this every day to stay consistent, to help you stay consistent, to help me stay consistent. It's way more fun to do the side splits training when there's a bunch of other people to do it with, and I hope you see the value in that. So you keep coming back. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and I hope to see you here again soon. Also, if you are hanging out and you don't engage in the chat, it's really hard for me to know that you're here. So feel free. You don't have to send that many messages, just a hi at the beginning. So I see that username come in a couple of times and I know that you're around. And that makes it easier for me to figure out who is here, who's not really here, and all those good things. Cool. Ah, thank you. XX Killer XX10. Hello, hello. Esme, hello. Educated in Pink. I'm on day 2. Lovely. Welcome back. I'm glad you like day 1 enough to keep coming back. I appreciate it, Killer. All right. Let's get into round 2 of the side splits. Same thing. Get close to that wall. I recommend one step away, one like footprint step. It's about 8 to 12 inches for most people, more or less. And let's open up those hips. Once you are as low as you can get here without being uncomfortable, I want you to fold forward, put your hands down, pretend like you're doing push-ups so that that weight is in your arms instead of in your legs and you can externally rotate. What that means is, and I have to scoot back so you can see it on the camera, your heel is down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Once you are here, your leg bones are out of the way of your hip bones and you can get deeper into the side split. Walk your hands back towards your hips to put all the weight we try to get rid of back into your hips, get into that deep stretch. And once you are here, you might notice you're already way deeper than the first time that we did that stretch. Amazing. All right, do a wiggle from side to side. And once you feel like you're as deep as you can get, let's do our 30 seconds. See, second round is way faster. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, earbud is slipping out of his ear, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Come on, crawl your hands forward, pull your legs in, kneel for a second if you need to. Breathe. All right, come back into standing and let's wiggle, relax, get those muscles moving, or I guess loose enough that your legs are flopping around. Let's noodle, 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 noodle. You can focus primarily on your legs because that's what's been freaking out, plus a little bit in your hips, right? So noodle, 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 noodle. Shake, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. And don't forget your arms. Your arms do a lot less. It's a little bit less intense than the legs, but they do a lot to support your body weight, and they deserve a little bit of love too. Noodle time. Okay, once you've done those, your legs are feeling more or less normal again. Let's do our quick joint checks. Hip circles. Lift those knees up. And some mini squats. Put that pressure in the knee, put the pressure in the ankles, come back up onto those toes, do some calf raises. And once you have checked those joints, we are basically ready for round 3, except for the fact that we just did our second side split. So we actually want to give it a little bit more time to recover in between because we want that third and last one to go well. We need to give it a little bit more rest. Oh, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 and move anywhere, anyhow you seem to want to. Cool. Doesn't matter. As long as it feels good and you're feeling like it's helpful, do whatever you gotta do. All right. I think with that, we've taken quite a bit of rest. So it's time to get our third and final side split. Let's do it. Get close to that wall. One step in front, 8 to 12 inches. Open up those legs nice and wide. When it's starting to get uncomfortable in the hips, fold forward, put your hands down like you're gonna do a push-up, so that you can more easily externally rotate your legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up. Bring your hands back right beneath your hips so that you get all that weight right back into those legs. Do a little wiggle from side to side to see if you can break that last little bit of friction, holding you back from a deeper stretch. And that's it. Let's go. 30, 29, 28. Remember to breathe. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Almost done. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward, pull your legs back in. This third round will probably be a little bit more difficult to get out of than the first and second. Oh, okay. Kneel for a second if you need it. Come back into standing. Let's loosen up and wrap it up. Okay. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Let those muscles relax. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay. Once your legs are starting to feel normal-ish again, add some dance moves. Just have fun. Move your legs, get them to do things that you normally wouldn't do, just to make sure you've tested all of that capacity. You know, we could also do stuff that you normally do a lot, like hip cars. Oh man, my legs feel like jello. Like this whole entire movement right here in the bend, it's like really weird. Okay, I've never done that before. Let's see. Hips are feeling all right, legs are feeling all right. Let's do our quick checks. Hip circles. I assume if you started doing the hip cars, then that particular hip is just fine. We're gonna do some high knees. You probably also accidentally tested that doing some hip cars. But finally, let's do something new. Put some pressure into the knees, put some pressure into the ankles, come up onto those toes, make sure all these joints are working all right. And once you have confirmed all those things, we are done. I'm gonna come to the chat, see if there's anything I got to talk about. All right, so far we have wrapped up everything for the day, all the side splits. I hope you had fun. I hope you feel proud of yourself because you just pulled off an awesome exercise. Today was a bad day for me, and I thought I wasn't going to make today's live. I'm so glad I did. Gnowski, I love it. Thank you for coming through, pushing through anyway, and practicing that consistency. I'm sorry the day was not so great, but I'm glad you're feeling better, and I'm glad that we could be part of the thing that makes you feel a little bit better. So thank you for coming back. XX Killer XX10 says, thanks, coach. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. All right. Where we at? I hope you guys feel really good about what you pulled off today, the amount of work that you just put into your stretching, how much more progress you feel like you've made today. If you don't exercise very often, if you don't stretch very often, today might have been the first thorough warm-up that you've done in a while. And maybe you learned something about your body, what you're capable of. A lot of the time, we go into things pretty cold. We try it like 1 time, 2 times, and then when we struggle with like whatever cool thing you saw on Instagram and you thought, oh, I can do that, whatever it is, you go, oh no, I really can't do that. I tried that twice way back when and I wasn't able to do it. You probably did not warm up. And once you're warmed up, you're probably like 3 times stronger, twice as flexible, and able to do way more than if you weren't warmed up. So if there's anything you can take away from this, if you're just attending for the first time, whenever you want to try something cool, make sure you're warmed up thoroughly because you can do so much more than you think you can when you are cold. Cool? All right. Bunny the Builder says, this was much needed and got me active when I wasn't expecting it. Subbed, smiley face. Lovely, Bunny. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're able to get some nice old active movement from the life. All right. I think that is basically. Oh, Goddess says, with my ankle, I can't rotate my toes upward in the side splits. but I still get a pretty good stretch. Let me think about that. Okay, if you cannot do ankle rotation, I am going to show you something real quick that might be able to help. Chels 23 says, for the split, I'm on carpet and I kept slipping. Carpet is really helpful when you want to slide, but it's not helpful when you don't want to slide as much. So one of the things I recommend is putting your foot up against something that won't move. Could be a bookcase, could be a dresser, could be the side of your wall. So at least one side won't slide, and that makes it a little bit easier to control the slide. But one of the main reasons you're sliding is because your inner thigh muscles probably could be a little bit stronger. And that's a lot of what we do. We strengthen slowly over time, little by little, those inner thigh muscles with the side splits. It's not obvious because most of the time we're stretching, but if you're coming down slowly into the side split like this is your side split, your adductor strength working, right? It's slowly allowing you to release. These are all contractions that make you a little bit stronger. There's other ways, there's more effective ways of getting stronger in that position, but we're doing just a little bit, just enough to keep you excited and keep you coming back. So that's what's up. I said we would talk about doing the ankle thing for Goddess. So I am going to do that. Ganasti loves my favorite fake fall. I love it too. It's the most fun that I have. I know I enjoyed this too, but the pretending is fun. I always think of the Matrix. I don't know how old the general audience is, but I think y'all are old enough for this for the most part, because the 18-year-olds are not doing mobility. That's not 18-year-old activity for the most part. So I'm giving the right age group. All right, side splits and ankle stuff. If you cannot rotate your toes up, you can try something a little bit different, right? So I'm back to this wall, and if we focus on bringing the feet to the wall and our butt also to the wall, this is also a side split, right? We're just rotated super so that our feet are straight down, and the position is basically the same, right? If your toes were pointed up and our chest was up, then it's pointing in the same direction. If we get into this position, our toes are pointed out front this way, but our chest is also pointing up like this. So we're basically just rotating 90 degrees. If you can get into this position pretty comfortably with your swollen ankle, then you can get into that side split stretch as well. If your butt is resting against the wall, then this is a very, very precise side split. You can't really do anything else because you can't shift your hips much further in any other direction because there's a wall there. And this is a perfectly good way to stretch the side split. In fact, that is the position I get into when I want to measure the side split, because I have the wall. I know exactly how far down from the wall I've traveled. I think that might make sense. Do you have any tips for breathing when in movement, or does it matter? Ganowski says yes, the Matrix. Yes, lovely. Okay, people know what I'm doing. Do you have any tips for breathing? For the most part, take nice, deep, slow breaths. Those calm your nervous system in general, and that is the lowest effort for maximum reward. If you were trying to get really strong and do really powerful movements, that's a little bit different. You can time the breathing a little bit better. But for the most part, when we're trying to relax into a stretch, we want to take gentle but long breaths so that when we go in and out, we relax as much as possible in between each of the breaths. If you take a lot of really short breaths, like it's going to sound like hyperventilating, and that is going to bring up a whole bunch of tension in the body, and it's going to make it much harder for you to relax into the stretch. The goal of all of our stretches is going to be relaxation. And so if there's any general tip, it's going to be do the type of breathing that helps you to relax. In this case, it's slow, controlled, deep breaths, deep exhales. I hope that helps. Anything else that we got in the chat? Educated in Pink is on day 2. Woo! Okay, I'm pretty sure I have covered everything that's come in the last couple of minutes. Ganowski says, my mindset is off though, not gonna lie. Okay, that is totally normal. It is 100% normal. We all generally want to be a little bit lazy, right? Like, and I say lazy in the nicest way possible. You're already here doing the hard thing, right? But once you're here, it's like running, right? Like once you start running, you're like, oh my God, the thing that you're fighting against is how much longer you're going to run. It's not, are my legs tired? It's like my heart is hurting. Like, yeah, I'm sure those things are true. Your lungs are on fire, but more often than not, you can probably keep going and you just really don't want to. And the more you don't want to, the more you're going to feel, oh, my lungs are so tired, my heart rate is so high, my legs don't want to move. And half of that is psychological, right? Like everybody has that feeling. And it is really hard to overcome. Honestly, I have no idea how people do it. People who run marathons like all the time, that's crazy. That's incredible. Not because, it's really hard physically. It is hard physically, but it's even more incredible because they can talk to themselves in their head for like 3 hours and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna stop. This sucks, but I'm gonna keep going because this is so important to me. I'm gonna just power through." 3 hours of doing that to yourself, that's crazy. Like 3 hours is a really good time. Like 5 hours if you're a normal-ish human being, you know? So, uh, that I think comes down a lot to mindset. Okay. Um, all right. I think that is all I got for today. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you feel proud of yourselves, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified. We come every single day to practice consistency, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I hope to see you soon. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to close the chat and close the live, and then I'm going to go do some more side splits that are going to be full of suffering by myself so that I can finally get the side splits. I've been making a bunch of progress. I started at 25 centimeters off the ground about 8 days ago in that position where my butt is against the wall that I just showed. And I measured yesterday. One of the rounds hit 19 centimeters. It might have been a little bit of a fluke because the next one hit 19.7, but you know, I'm sub 20 now, so that feels good. 20 centimeters, because most of my audience is American, is about 7.75 inches ish at 19.7 centimeters. So I'm less than one of these yoga blocks from the ground, and now I have to flip it and put it somewhere else to do that. And that feels awesome because I got to get past the tall part of the block, and now I'm in the middle part of the block. Okay. So that's just a quick update where I'm at. Hope you had fun. Hope to see you soon. Check out the short form content if you're interested in like tiny little updates about how that's going. Cool? All right. Wrapping up. Goodbye. See you all tomorrow. Ronak, behave. Says, how tall are you, bro? I'm like 5'4" ish. I'm not very tall at all. One could call me a short king. I would appreciate that title. And um yeah, that's your question. That's my answer. Cool. All right. I am wrapping up for today. Thank you everybody for hanging out and doing live side splits, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.